Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Sutton Foster. Sutton Lenore Foster is an American actress, singer, and dancer. She is known for her work on the Broadway stage, for which she has received 2 Tony Awards. For Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Musical, in 2002. For her role as Millie Dilmount in Thoroughly Modern Millie, and in 2011. For her performance as Reno Sweeney in Anything Goes. Her other Broadway credits include Little Women, The Drowsy Chaperone, Young Frankenstein, Shrek the Musical, and Violet. On television, Foster played the lead role in the short-lived ABC family comedy drama Bunheads from 2012 to 2013. Since March 2015, she has starred in the TV Land comedy drama Younger. Early life and education. Foster was born in Statesboro, Georgia, and raised in Troy, Michigan. At the age of 15, she was a contestant on the reality competition show Star Search and also auditioned for the cast of the Mickey Mouse Club. She left Troy High School before graduating to join the national tour of the Will Rogers Follies directed by Tommy Tune. She then attended Carnegie Mellon University for 1 year, but left to pursue a theatrical career full-time. In May 2012, she received an honorary doctorate from Ball State University, in recognition of her outstanding career in theater, television, and music, and for her contributions to the educational experience and professional growth of Ball State students. Her older brother is actor Hunter Foster. 1995-2001. Early career. After touring in the role of Sandy Dombrowski in the musical Grease throughout 1995, Foster transferred to the Broadway production in 1996. She left to appear in the ensemble of the Broadway musical The Scarlet Pimpernel in 1997. And after that closed, she returned as the star to be in the revival of Annie. This was followed in 1998 by a role in What the World Needs Now at the Old Globe Theatre, before she began touring with Les Miserables as Eponine Thénardier. She understudied the role on Broadway in 2000. Foster ultimately left Les Miserables to appear in the ensemble of the pre-Broadway run of Thoroughly Modern Millie at the Loyola Playhouse. However, leading lady Kristen Chenoweth backed out, and after Erin Dilly turned down the job, Foster eventually took over the role of Millie Dilmount. During a Millie hiatus, Foster appeared in Dorian at Goodspeed musicals, The Three Musketeers, at the American Musical Theater of San Jose, and South Pacific, at the Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera. 2002-2010, breakthrough and stage success. Thoroughly Modern Millie finally opened on Broadway at the Marquis Theatre in 2002. To many positive reviews. The New York Daily News reviewer described her thus: newcomer Sutton Foster, who has the pert look, the silver voice and the dazzling legwork to make an extraordinarily winning Millie. Clive Barnes, reviewing for the New York Post, wrote, newcomer Sutton Foster's own star turn as Millie is perfectly charming, but as a star she doesn't twinkle, glitter, or light up Broadway like a Christmas tree defying a July noon. But she has a good voice and is cutely agreeable. The Newsday reviewer wrote, she has a smile that may remind you of Mary Tyler Moore, the gawky comic precision of the young Carol Burnett, the lyricism of a romantic heroine, and a smallish but vibrant voice as accurate as it is expressive. As Millie, another of New York's prototypical small-town girls with big city dreams, Sutton Foster appears unfazed by the burden of a character created on screen by Julie Andrews. The newcomer takes the big stage with an uninhibited what-the-heck comfort level and the discipline to go with her instincts. Time magazine wrote, Sutton Foster got the full package: girlish gawkiness and Broadway brass, the legs and the lungs. Foster is a big reason the show is just about the cutest thing to hit Broadway since Annie's Dimples, with perkily retro songs by Janine Tesori and clever staging by director Michael Mayer. Foster went on to win the 2002 Tony Award for Best Leading Actress in a Musical, the Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Actress in a Musical, and the Outer Critics Circle Award for Outstanding Actress in a Musical for her performance. During the run, Foster appeared in concert versions of Chess and Funny Girl, before leaving in 2004. Upon leaving, Foster did a concert version of Snoopy, the musical, and returned to the Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera for a production of Me and My Girl to wrap up the year. In May 2005, Foster co-starred as Jo March opposite Maureen McGovern as Marmee in the musical adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's classic novel Little Women, for which she was nominated for her second Tony Award. The production closed after just a few months. She returned to Broadway at the Marquis Theatre in May 2006 in The Drowsy Chaperone, a spoof of 1920s musicals. She played Janet Van de Graaff, a famous Broadway starlet who opts to forego a stage career in favor of married life. The musical had a pre-Broadway run at the Ahmanson Theatre, Los Angeles in November to December 2005. Her performance earned her a third Tony nomination. Foster left the musical in 2007 and co-starred in Mel Brooks' musical adaptation of his film Young Frankenstein as the Swedish yodeling Fraulein Inga, first at the Paramount Theatre and then on Broadway from October 2007 to July 2008. In 2007, Foster guest-starred on the children's musical puppet show Johnny and the Sprites and in a 3-episode story arc on the HBO sitcom Flight of the Conchords. She left the show to play Princess Fiona in Shrek the Musical, which opened on Broadway on December 14, 2008. For this role, Foster won her second Outer Critics Circle Award for Outstanding Actress in a Musical, and was nominated for her fourth Tony Award for Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Musical. She played her final performance on January 3, 2010, when the show closed on Broadway. Foster participated in a reading of a work-in-progress new musical, Bonnie and Clyde, A Folktale, in June 2009. Her brother, Hunter, is writing the music for this musical. Foster's debut solo album Wish was released by Ghostlight Records in February 2009. The songs range from jazz to pop to cabaret to Broadway. In 2010, Foster promoted the album with concert performances in Boston, New York City, Chicago, the Orange County Performing Arts Center in Orange County, California, and Washington, D.C. Foster starred as Nurse Faye Apple in the New York City Center's Encore's production of Anyone Can Whistle, which played from April 8 to April 11, 2010. Foster made her off-Broadway debut in Paul White's Comedy Trust with Zach Braff, Bobby Cannavale, and Ari Grainer, which began previews July 23, 2010 with an official opening August 12, running through September 12, 2010 at Second Stage Theatre. Foster and Seth Ruditsky participated in the one-night-only Actors Fund benefit concert version of They're Playing Our Song on August 30, 2010 at the Gerald W. Lynch Theatre, John Jay College, New York. The full cast included E.F.E. Acute, Caitlin Davidson, Alex Ellis, Maynard, Matler, and Jesse Nager, and was directed by Dennis Jones. Foster taught a spring semester masterclass at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts undergraduate Department of Drama, beginning in January 2010. It culminated in a cabaret performance at Joe's Pub in May titled, From Rogers to Hart. She taught the masterclass again in fall semester 2010, culminating in another performance at Joe's Pub, Crazy for Gershwin. Both were musically directed by Deborah Abramson. She is now on the faculty of NYU's new studio on Broadway. Foster taught a week-long masterclass session at Ball State University in January 2010. She continued her relationship with Ball State in September 2010 by working with students in the classroom, teaching masterclasses, and performing workshops for students of the Department of Theatre and Dance. She also guest-starred in an episode of the NBC legal drama Law & Order, SVU, which aired on March 3, 2010 opposite comedian Kathy Griffin. Foster performed at the 33rd Annual Kennedy Center Honors in a tribute to Jerry Herman, singing, Before the Parade Passes By. She performed at the Kennedy Center Honors the following year in a tribute to Barbara Cook. She made her third appearance at the Kennedy Center Honors in 2013, performing for the tribute to Shirley MacLaine. Foster performed a concert tour, An Evening with Sutton Foster, from September 2010 to May 2011, performing songs from both her Broadway career and her solo album. 2011, 2014, Anything Goes and Branching Out. Foster played Reno Sweeney in the Broadway revival of Anything Goes, which began performances on March 10, 2011 at the Stephen Sondheim Theatre, and officially opened on April 7, 2011. Foster won her third Outer Critics Circle Award and second Drama Desk Award and Tony Award for her performance. Foster's final performance was on March 11, 2012, when she was replaced by Stephanie J. Block. Foster left to film the television comedy drama Bunheads, which premiered on ABC Family on June 11, 2012. In the spring of 2012, she returned to Ball State, teaching classes, mentoring the interdisciplinary team that wrote the musical The Circus in Winter, and co-directing the Department of Theatre and Dance's spring 2012 production of The Drowsy Chaperone. She also spoke at commencement and received an honorary Doctorate of Fine Arts degree for her continued engagement with Ball State students. Foster continued her relationship with Ball State in October 2012, performing in the staged reading of The Circus in Winter at the National Alliance for Musical Theatre's Festival of New Musicals at New World Stages in New York. Foster played the lead role in the short-lived 2012 ABC family drama Bunheads, developed by Amy Sherman Palladino, the creator of Gilmore Girls. She played former Las Vegas showgirl Michelle, who impulsively marries a man, moves to his small town, and begins teaching ballet lessons at her new mother-in-law's dance studio. She won the Gracie Award and received a nomination at the 3rd Critics' Choice Television Awards for Best Actress in a Comedy Series. The series was cancelled after a single season. In 2013, Foster starred as Carrie in psych actor James Roday's comedic thriller Gravy. In 2014, she appeared opposite Robin Williams in the comedy The Angriest Man in Brooklyn. From March to August 2014, Foster starred in the Roundabout Theatre Company production of the musical Violet at the American Airlines Theatre. Foster received her 6th Tony Award nomination for her performance. 2015 present, younger and transition to television. She made her Carnegie Hall debut in April 2015, with guest appearances from Joshua Henry and Megan McGuinness. This was part of a new tour effort, An Evening with Sutton Foster, Broadway in Concert, which continued through 2016. She returned to Encores! In July 2015. to play Queenie in Andrew Lipper's The Wild Party. She later was cast as the lead character of Liza Miller in the TV Land single-camera comedy drama pilot Younger, created by Darren Star. It was originally set to be released January 13, 2015. But she stated on January 31 in an interview at TETA Theaterfest 2015 in Houston, Texas, that the release was delayed. The series premiered on March 31, 2015 and was renewed for a second season, which began airing in January 2016, shortly after it was renewed for a third season, set for release at the end of the year. In July 2016, Season 3 began filming, and the series was renewed for a fourth season. Season 3 aired to positive reviews in late 2016, and Season 4 will air in summer 2017. In 2016, she starred opposite Aaron Tveit and Betty Buckley in the Stephen Schwartz revue Defying Gravity in Australia. She appears in the off-Broadway revival of Sweet Charity as Charity Hope Valentine. The revival began performances at the Pershing Square Signature Center on November 2, 2016, and runs through January 8, 2017. Also in 2016, Foster played the role of Violet in the miniseries Gilmore Girls, a year in the life opposite her ex-husband, Christian Ball. The two perform a musical within the summer episode about the history of Stars Hollow. She appeared on the game show Match Game, broadcast on ABC in June 2016. She also made guest appearances on The Good Wife and Mad Dogs. She is currently working on a new album set for release in 2017. In 2017, she will again return to Ball State, this time to co-direct the Department of Theatre and Dance's spring production of Shrek, the musical. Personal life. Foster met actor Christian Ball in college, and married him on September 18, 2006. During a radio interview in 2010, it was confirmed that Foster and Ball divorced. Foster and Ball still remain friends and continue to support each other's work. On September 19, 2013, Foster confirmed that she became engaged to screenwriter Ted Griffin. She and Griffin married on October 25, 2014. In April 2017, Foster announced that she and her husband adopted a baby girl, Emily Dale Griffin, born March 5, 2017. Foster is a self-proclaimed dog lover, and has had 3 dogs since her Broadway debut, Linus, Mabel, and Brody. She makes artwork which she sells online and occasionally at art exhibits. She is a longtime collaborator with Julian Havard. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.